G'day, welcome back to this series on my Fiat 850 EV conversion. In the last episode, I got the engine and controller, etc. back into the car and tested it all and demonstrated that it all works, drives the wheels. So now the next task is to build the battery box and install the batteries. And I've had a few various permutations and combinations and indecision around where I'm going to put the battery box in the car, and there's a few options I could go for, but in this episode I'll take you through the choice I made in terms of where I'm going to install the batteries. So let's go. So I've been trying to think out how I'm going to mount the batteries in the car. So I have this. When I bought the modules from the Kia 6, the guy gave me this pan, which was the subfloor pan for the whole 32 modules that the Kia 6 had. So he gave this to me. I've cut a section off. This is a quarter of it, so there were another 3 bays, that each bay taking 8 modules. I need to mount 5 modules. That's what I'm running the Fiat on. So I'm going to cut this down and create a 5 module, if you like, aluminium tray. Alright, so here we are. One cut down battery box. So my next challenge is to weld it together. So this will test out my aluminium welding skills, and spoiler alert, I don't have any. I've never welded aluminium. So, steep learning curve coming right up. Okay, so I've tacked it up. It's now hopefully in the right space and shape. I'm going to now give it a go, welding it up with my new big welder. We'll see how I go. I'm not really a very good aluminium welder, but I think it'll hold. I can grind that back, and yeah, I think it'll hold. So after umming and ahhing for a while about where I should put the main traction pack, I've decided I'm going to put it here for now, just to get the car going, get the car working. I may move the battery traction pack down the track once I've established that everything's working properly, but for now I'm going to put it here because then I've got easy access for everything. So this seems to fit quite well in here, and I've got these. I'm just going to put some drill some holes and put some of these glands through the firewall there, and so the cables from the traction pack can go straight out back to the controller. And I'll make some solid mounting points from here down to here and mount that all nice and solidly and make a cover for it, etc. And I think, yeah, that should then allow me to get the whole system going, and once I've got it all going, as I say, I can then reevaluate. So here's the battery box in place. I think it's going to work. I'll fix some bolts in there and here and there to hold it onto the chassis of the car, and I think that will be secure enough. I've got this, which is left over from the plastering. It's like some plastering edging, but it fits nicely over there, and I think I can use that to create a front and maybe something to mount the BMS on, possibly, and then some kind of a cover, which will try and make that openable so I can access the batteries if I need to, and I think it's going to work. So, one of the things I'm enjoying about this project is the problem-solving aspect of it. So as you see, as you know, I've made myself a battery box here. I'll just get this battery out. Oh God, they're heavy. So I've made myself a battery box, and it all fits nicely. And my plan was to bolt these legs down through this solid plate here, and I made it all and fabricated it all, and I've now discovered that there's a beam that runs through there, which basically means I can't access the other side to attach a bolt to. So I've been kind of struggling to think, how am I going to actually bolt this securely down to the car, because of course this needs to be very firmly held into the car. I think the regulation says it's got to be something like able to withstand a 10G force or something like that. Anyway, so I've been struggling to think, how can I attach these strongly enough to here? And so I went and got a whole lot of kind of blind hole kind of things, and thinking maybe I can use one of these or that or something like that, and none of them seemed to work. And so I've been kind of scratching my head, and then I started doing a little bit of research into what's out there, because I assume somebody else has come up against this problem in the past. And I've discovered these things called blind rivets, or blind rivet nuts, or blind rivet bolts, or whatever. And I discovered I can buy a kit that allows me to drill a hole in here, insert this thing in here, and then using this tool, you crimp it up against the back side, the inaccessible part of this metal plate, and it creates a nice strong M8 bolt point. So I'll be able to fit 4 of those in there and really bolt this down firmly. And so yeah, it's very satisfying to be able to kind of nut out these problems and find a good solution. And of course, I also really like the excuse to buy new tools. You can never have enough tools, is my philosophy. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm ready now to install the batteries. There's a couple of good things that have occurred because I got the pan with the batteries when I bought the battery pack. The guy that I bought them from gave me the original battery pan that was in the Kia 6. Firstly, I've got all the bolts, so that's great. I'll be able to bolt everything down nice and firmly in the original spots. But the other thing is, it came with this
this this kind of plasticine-y stuff, which I think it's a heat transfer paste, and I've got a whole lot of that. So I'm just going to try and tidy this up and put a bit more down, because it not only beds the batteries down nicely, but as I say, it helps with heat transfer. So I'll see how I go with that. So as you can see, I've got a heap of this stuff, and I think it's worth putting this stuff in. I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to do it. And now for the batteries. Well, I got them in by taking the rail off. Of course, I took this rail off first and it still didn't work, so I had to then take this rail off. But anyway, I've got the rail off, and I've got all the batteries in now. And before I put this rail back on, I'm just going to make sure I can fix them all in. Now, as I said, I have all the bolts, plus these links that came with the Kia 6. So I can put these on, but before I do that, I've got to fix these bolts go in here. So let me fix all these in together. Yeah, it's very satisfying having all these bolts and this system to fix it all together. And there we are. Just check the voltage of the pack. Should be in the order of 112, 114 volts. That's negative, that's positive. So there we are, 109.4, ready to go. And as I say, if I bring the camera around here, you can see, in fact, there's one of the cables ready to attach to there, to the positive, and then another negative there, and then that is ultimately for the BMS wiring, which I'll put on later. I think for now, just to test that the car's actually going to drive, I'm going to just run it, which is straight off the batteries without charging them. And then I'll hook the BMS up, and then we'll be able to charge it as well. But one step at a time. And so all I've got to do now is put this thing back on, if I can. And there we have it, one installed battery pack, ready to go. I still haven't made the cover, but for testing, I'm just going to leave it open like this so I can see what's going on. So great. The next step is to wire it all up and then put the wheels back on, and then I could, oh, and of course, I need a steering wheel and accelerator, so there's a little bit of wiring to do and a few fitting of things to do yet. But then I should be able to take it for a test drive.